Attract and maintain love in your life using the technique of making yourself more important and not putting them on a pedestal. I know a ton of us have been there, and it's honestly the biggest problem that I see when people make a lot of the relationship and a lot of their life about someone else. And I know some of you might argue, well, it is about that. It's about compromise. It's about being there for the other person. And yes, to an extent. But what you have to learn is the next techniques for where to compromise and how much. Those are the things that will determine whether you can develop that long-term relationship and maintain it, right? Because a lot of people will pick up in the beginning, they'll have this great relationship, and then I know you all have been there where like maybe after the honeymoon period, a month or two, everything seems to just halt. Or there are things that start bothering you. Or you start noticing that there's an imbalance in the giving and taking. And sorry, by the way, I'm out in this area. This is beautiful Bahrain. For any of you that don't know, I'm at a lovely place, the Ritz here, sitting outside, so you might hear some kids in the background. They're out playing in the pool. But yes, for any of you that don't know, and hi, by the way, welcome to any of my subscribers and welcome any newbies. Welcome back, subscribers. My name is 𝙤𝙤𝙬𝙚𝙬𝙚. I'm a law of attraction coach, an international speaker, and an author, and I love doing videos on this channel to hold us all accountable to being the best versions of ourselves. I personally will only share and teach things that have worked for me. I will not speak about anything that I honestly haven't done myself, so you know that I'm talking about things that have actually worked and sharing them with you guys. But yes, so how to not put somebody on a pedestal. I struggled with this personally quite a lot in my life, especially when I was in my younger, like early 20s, just because when you fall for someone, you know, all the emotions are there, the hormones, and if you look at the frequency chart, love is like, it's actually quite a chaotic energy, okay? So it's not very, we would like to think that love is just like very consistent, but when you get to that bliss state with someone, that gives you more of a consistent love. But I actually want to share with you the technique that helps you do this when it comes to making yourself more important. And it has to do with giving over your power. So a lot of people don't realize this because it seems natural. We're actually taught to do this by our parents when we're younger because we learn that love relationship when we're younger. And what usually happens is we'll do things to make our parents happy, right? So if your mom says do this or your dad says do this, then you get this return of affection and love, right? If you do this correctly, or they'll like reward you with that affection and love. So when it comes to relationships when we get older, what we actually find is that we will start looking for ways to get that affection and love by doing certain things, right? We think that we have to do something that the other person likes in order to receive that affection and love. And that's actually giving your power over to someone else. The way that I explain this to clients a lot is that imagine like you have reins. My bag was just here, so it worked out well. It's a perfect prop for this, but imagine like you have the reins of your life, right? You're in control. What usually happens, especially at the beginning of a relationship, is somebody will go, I really like you, so here. And they'll hand over the reins to somebody else to say, okay, you tell me what you like, and I'll go this way, I'll go this way, I'll go that way, because I like you, and I want to receive that affection, and I want to receive that attention. And that is actually where it all starts to crumble. No one should ever, ever give over their reins to anybody. First of all, it's not fair on you, and second of all, it's not fair on them. So taking that power back, making yourself more important, is always keeping the reins. Imagine it. If you're ever in a situation, just imagine having those reins with you, because it's about what you like. It's about what you want in your life. If you like this, then you pull the rein that way. Don't let somebody else pull your reins or steer you. You know, there's a difference again between having a conversation, somebody liking something, and giving from a place of having enough and not expecting something back. But what usually happens is when you give those reins over, you give them over thinking, okay, well, I'll do these things that you like, but in return, you have to give me that affection. You have to give me that attention because that's what I've learned as a kid. But it's actually not true. And that's where the relationships start to falter and you get this imbalance of giving and receiving. So what you need to do in these situations is you need to hold on to the reins yourself. You are in control and you are the most important in this situation. And they themselves need to hold on to their own reins because it's not fair for them to give you their reins and say, okay, tell me what to do to make you happy. You need to both be powerful individuals, right? You need to both have that strength, both have your own reins, and then decide together that you're gonna ride alongside each other, right? Ride or die. So it's the best way I find to explain this, and honestly I've had a few friends who have had this problem, and including myself. I know we all have, and type in the comments and let me know if this is something that you've experienced too, where like even with your friends, sometimes their whole life will become about the other person. Well, this person's feeling this way, this person's going through this person's going through that, and a lot of times unfortunately it will wear a person down, especially if it's not in a balanced relationship, and especially if they're going through some challenging times. And what ends up happening is you end up compromising yourself, you end up compromising your time, your boundaries, many things like that we don't want to do, because actually it can grow like into resentment. So we don't want that. So take that power back and take them off a pedestal. That is the key, is that what matters to you is so important. And that's why I often recommend that people spend time on their own, figuring out what actually matters to you, what's important to you, what's the life that you want to lead, what do you enjoy having in your life, and get busy with hobbies. Because when you start valuing your time so much that if anybody comes in and it's not that valuable to you, or you would even rather spend time on your own, you know that when you make time for people, or when that person comes in, it's really worth it. Like, that's when it feels really, really good to have somebody in your life, and that's the most important part. So I want you guys to remember that. Remember the reins, okay? Remember this is important, and it takes practice. You don't get it like, I know I practiced it the first time, especially if you really like someone and the hormones are rising and you're getting all excited, right? But just practice. It takes time, and just remind yourself in situations that come up, have I given them the reins, or am I holding the reins right now? Because it's really important for both the people involved. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Let me know in the comments below. Practice the reins. And yeah, like this video, share it with any of your friends that you think it could help. And don't forget to subscribe, because I'm dedicated to making weekly videos on this channel to hold us all accountable to being the best versions of ourselves, guys. But for now, sending you my love. All the best. Bye.